and I'm your board president, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living in our beautiful community of Apple Valley. Please stand and join us if you wish in singing our opening song, Stayed on Spirit, with Chris and our choir. Celebrate each person as a divine and unique expression of the one Spirit in all. Together, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone. We teach and embody the science of mind principles to support our core values of love, healing, spiritual growth, oneness, abundance, service, and diversity. Welcome home. I want to thank you to those of you joining us online today as well. We're happy that you're with us. Now I invite you to please join me in reading the opening community affirmation. It's in your program on the left-hand side. I believe in one power, one living spirit, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. I believe that Spirit expresses through me and is the unity of all life. I believe that all thought is creative and that how I choose to think creates my personal experience. Is there anyone joining us here for the first time? If so, please raise your hand so we can welcome you. Welcome. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already picked up a welcome packet, we have them right outside the door at the welcome table. Go ahead and look inside of them. There's a special gift for you to use in our wonderful gift store and bookstore. So please visit us after service and we'll be happy to assist you in the bookstore. Daily text announcements. We send out our daily affirmations and updates regarding service and upcoming events through a texting service. If you would like to join this service, please text JOIN, J-O-I-N, to 833-683-2356. This info is also up on the monitors for your convenience. If you are no longer getting your messages, your daily messages, and you would like to restart them, please reach out to Brandy. She's right here, and she'll be happy to help you with the process. And it's great to be in the loop and connect throughout the week. Also, the announcements for any upcoming events are in your program each week, along with the daily affirmations, so please take it home with you to keep it handy. You can leave the white cover here, we do recycle those. So we have current events happening at the center. You can also find them online through our social media accounts on Facebook and Instagram. We have our HDCSL monthly calendar found on our website as well. We have a few announcements we'd like to share with you today. So right after service today, we will gather in the community room for fellowship and our spaghetti lunch fundraiser. Yummy! If you didn't prepay, you can still join, and the cost is $20, which you can pay in the bookstore and then go on in for your lunch. For those in the choir or interested in joining, we will be meeting for practice at 10:30 on Tuesdays, and you're welcome to stay for Tai Chi with Chris, and that is going to now start at 11 a.m. So that's this Tuesday, August 30th. Workday with Frank and the crew is set for Saturday, and it was going to be September 3rd. Frank just informed me because of the holiday weekend, he'll be doing that on September 10th, so the following Saturday. So you'll hear about it next Sunday too. Sunday, September 4th, we have Reverend Nikki Robbins, followed by our monthly potluck, where we will be celebrating Birthday Sunday. Please remember to bring a dish to share, and the center will be providing the cake as dessert. There's also in your program a survey for classes. It's a little white sheet, and we want to know what time you'd like to, or what would be your preference to attend a class. There's some choices in there. Just check one of them, and again, take those to the concierge basket along with your survey for the speaker evaluation. And there's no pressure, we're just doing this for everybody. So also, we have duck race. Joan has duck race tickets. The tickets are $10 a piece, and this is a fundraiser for our center. Joan collects $10 and she turns in $5. So we get a 50% take from this. 50% to us, 50% to the community services. If you have any questions, please see Joan Phelps. And Joan, would you please stand, raise your hand? She's in the back row right now, but she'll be at the table with all the ducks. So see her afterwards to get your duck race. And also, it doesn't say this on there, but Joan has a history of having a lot of $1,000 winners right from our center. Frank was one of them? Yes, Frank was one of them. And then the other thing I wanted to share today is that the Healthy Spirit Fair team has been meeting the ones that were here in March 2020 before it was canceled. So we are going to have a Zoom meeting for all the volunteers that want to assist with that. Anyone that wants to find out more information about the Healthy Spirit Fair is actually going to be an information meeting. That's going to be at 6:30 on Thursday, September 1st. And Brandy's going to send out a text message with the link to the whole community. We would really love to see many, many people there. We made a list, and we need like 20 or more volunteers on the day of the event. So there's Zoom meeting? It's a Zoom meeting. Thank you, Chris. So we have the 4 of us that started this, and then we have the committee members, and then we're going to have the day of, the setup, and the takedown. So we'll be giving out information for that. Every Sunday, we share the vision for our new minister. We ask you to hold this vision with us throughout the week. Printed copies are available at the concierge table for you to take home as well. Join me in reading this if you choose. Our purpose is unity. Our vision is to be a dynamic teaching center where we learn to experience the Spirit within us and to express our fullest potential in life. Our new minister is comfortable with shared leadership, accessible to our community, has humor, tact, and is kind. Our new minister is intelligent, a fine teacher of science of mind, an inspired speaker, and feeds us spiritually. Our new minister lives the science of mind with integrity, has a consciousness of abundance, is authentic and unbiased. Our new minister is enthusiastic while being emotionally mature, committed, and connected to our community, and is wise in all of their affairs. Thank you for holding that vision. I can just feel it. Our new minister is getting closer and closer. And now I'd like to welcome our practitioner of the day, Frank St. Clair.
Good morning.
Good morning, Frank.
I didn't hear the echo. Is it on? Get closer. See if it's on. Closer. I'm not hearing an echo in here, so I'll just project from where I am. I'd like for you to please join me in speaking Dr. Ernest Holmes' promises, which I think you'll find up on the monitors here. It's also in the front page of your program. You will join me, please. I keep the promise that I have made myself to affirm in this moment that I am abundant, healthy, strong, and happy. I keep the intention to daily speak this truth to my inner soul, letting it tell it is wonderful and marvelous, that it is one with the great cause of life, truth, power, and action. I whisper these things into my soul until it breaks forth into songs of joy, with the realization of its limitless possibilities. I assure my soul.
The song again today when I pray. my love, go deeper, my love, go deeper into my love. When I pray, I feel my love, go deeper, my love, go deeper into my love. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
Absolutely beautiful. Hard to come back from such a beautiful place. I'd like to now invite all agreed to join me to light the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that peoples in all faiths, all beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. The unity candle represents the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the first candle for the shamanic tradition, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fourth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle, acknowledging all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome here. And as we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of loved ones, knowing that they have the experience of Spirit's eternal love. And so it is. You will join me now in prayer. We take this time to reflect inside of ourselves and recognize that we are sparks from the divine fire. Spirit, the beginning of joy, peace, love, vital health, humor and laughter. Spirit is who we are. And we consciously recognize that we are emissaries. We are sparks from this fire. We are conduits of light into the world of our affairs. We recognize that Spirit is within ourselves. And all we all need to do is to consciously reflect and recognize our connection. We are light bulbs through which the energy of Spirit projects into this world. And like light bulbs, we do not chase the shadows. We merely shine and allow the love of God to work through us, through our words, our thoughts, our actions. We are conduits for Spirit to bring joy, peace, and happiness into this world and the world of all of our affairs. We are most grateful for this teaching and knowledge, that we are one, always connected to the divine. And I release this treatment now, knowing that it is fulfilled fully and completely in every individual, for every person. And so it is.
We have some special music right now. And I'd like to ask the choir to help me out.
I loved it. We're a light bulb and all we gotta do is shine. Thank you, Frank. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today, and he's here for our first time. Reverend Michael Kearney discovered Science of Mind in 1988 and became a minister in 2001. He also has a certificate of life coaching with the Applied Neuroscience Institute. Reverend Michael's experience includes 20 years as the founder and executive director of a CSL focus ministry, Children's Treatment Center, a nonprofit group home for abused and emotionally disturbed children. He was the senior minister of the Center for Spiritual Living in Palm Springs for 10 years, and he was a spiritual director at the Center of Spiritual Living in Menifee for 5 years. Michael lives with his husband Gary in Cathedral City and is a proud father of 1 daughter and 2 grandchildren. He identifies with the characters from Winnie the Pooh storybooks. His friends call him Tigger, and he is known to be quite bouncy and fun. His talk for today is Naturally Divine. Please help me in welcoming Reverend Michael Kearney, Tigger.
Zippity-doo-dah? That's what you opened up with before, my talk. Was at first was going to be sort of mellow and kind of quiet, a little bit about, maybe kumbaya, let's get along, let's love each other. And then zippity-doo-dah, that's what I have to follow. So I guess with that, then we need to have an experience here. We need to have something that brings us into this idea of the science of mind and the goodness that we know that we have. We know that there is a power and there's a presence that is available to each and every one of us. Right here, right now, I am with Spirit. I am with the divine. And if we know that, if we're going to have this experience of zippity-doo-dah, then we need to have a healing. We need to have somebody fall in love. We need to see the abundance of the prosperity fulfilling this church. We need to see that your new minister is arriving and being attracted to all that you are bringing forth here. So we're going to jump into this thing. My title today is called Naturally Divine. And I brought along my favorite friend, Adventure Tigger. He goes with me wherever it is that I am in my experience, so that we can memorize and memorialize whatever our experience is, whatever it is that we're doing. We need to make a correction here.
We do. Excuse me, everybody. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, Marina.
So let's go back to zippity-doo-dah. Right here, right now, I am with Spirit. Naturally Divine is the title of the talk that I'm using today. It's out of that series that they're using throughout CSL, where many centers and many of the ministers are talking about the theme that's going on for the year. I like to use the topic, but I don't necessarily follow along in the direction in which they're going, because I have to allow for that Spirit to come through me wherever I am, whatever it is that I'm doing, so that I can bring forth that energy that I think is the example of the naturally divine. I want you to think about it for a minute. In your own family, have you ever found that experience where when you come back together, you show up in your family unit, and you recall that story that is always told? You fall back into the role of wherever you were in the dynamics of your family, and you become, that child again, or the story is always about you, everybody that wants to speak about you. I know that in my family, and I come from a large extended family. I grew up in a small town in Iowa. My dad was like the 11th out of 12 children. So you can imagine that everybody in town either was related to or you knew each other. You knew which tribe you came from. And so the story was pretty much given to you as to what your life experience was going to be. I know that in my family, the story was about the Kearney prayer. That's my name, Kearney, and the prayer. So whenever there was a need for a healing, whenever there was a need for someone to have some compassion or they were going through surgery, or there was a breakup in the relationship, you know, the phone call would happen and people would start reaching out. They'd say, you know, could you get the Kearney prayers starting to roll? It just happened about a week ago. My aunt is going in for surgery, and she called up. The first thing she said was, I need you to start the Kearney prayers. I'm thinking that this probably started, as I said, my grandmother had 12 children. She went to church every day. It was either that or drinking. You know, when you have 12 children, you have to find something to do. So I think that's where the prayer came in. She was at church every day. She was doing the prayer, and so it became the family story. It became the way in which we showed up. And it's probably by no coincidence that I've ended up being a minister, being someone who does a lot of prayer work. It's my daily spiritual practice, and to be in that consciousness of the divine, to recognize that presence that is here, to know the truth of who I am. I believe that we have an opportunity in our life to outgrow the role that maybe we have been given as a child, that we can evolve into something more magnificent, something more divine, something that is naturally ours to do. So we wonder why it is that people behave the way that they do. Is it in their genes? Is it in their DNA? Is it the way in which we show up in this physical being, that we behave in the way that we do? I mean, look at the things that are going on today. Don't you often question, why are people behaving the way that they do? What are they thinking of? Or what are they not thinking of? We know that we have the power and the presence, that if we are able to bring our consciousness into an alignment with something that is of a greater good, that which is the natural aspect of who we are, then we can change our experience. We can bring into our life whatever it is that we so desire, if we're willing to do the work. Ernest Holmes says, in The Science of Mind, this happens with age. What makes humans behave the way that we do? He goes on to say that life waits upon man's discovery of natural law, his discovery of himself, and his discovery of his relationship to the greater whole. Life, that divine intelligence, that eternal life, that infinite intelligence, that spirit of all that is, it waits upon man's discovery of himself, man, woman, or child, to discover themselves. Life has no limitation to time. So life can wait for eternity, for you to wake up to your naturally divine essence, your strength, your skill, your power, your purpose. Life just simply waits there, waiting for you to discover it. And how do we discover it? We discover it through the power of our mind, through the power of our thought. Sitting here this morning in the meditation, and thank you, Frank, for the beautiful meditation, the opportunity to be in the silence, to be, energy is flowing, the entire solar system, the galaxy, the universe is in divine order. Everything is already there in place, waiting for us to wake up, waiting for us to discover the truth of who we are, to realize the power that is within us, that we can co-create the experience that we are bringing and attracting into our life. We are responsible for the way in which we respond to all that is going on. It is in our divine nature. You know, nature in itself has a way in which it shows up. Trees just automatically know what it is that they need to do in order to be a tree. The tree just sprouts up. It sends its roots deep down into the ground. It grows out into limbs. Some of them have leaves, some have needles, some bear fruit, some blossom, some have all sorts of activities that they bring forth in creating a place for the birds to nest. It's a natural thing for the tree to do. Everything in nature has that natural divine essence within it, and it knows what it needs to do, how it needs to show up, the way it needs to be in this expression. The unique thing about humanity is that we're not sure why we're here. We're not sure what it is that we're supposed to be doing. Now, as children, we understand this perfectly. You know, as a child, you just get up and go. That's your purpose. You get up and you go. And as we begin to mature, as we begin to age, as we get caught up in the routine of what it is that we're supposed to do, how it is that we're supposed to show up, we get confused. We lose our sense of purpose. We start following, you know, some idea, some commercial, some advertisement. We're like, oh, if I could just only do this, then I'll have that. If I can only just, you know, more of this, then I'll have that. We begin to follow somebody else's idea of what it is that is our purpose, why it is that we are here in this life. We have the opportunity to wake up and know our individual truth, our individual personality. Thomas Troward in the Edinburgh lecture says this: the ultimate aim of the evolutionary process is to evolve individuals. The individual will, actuated by such benefits and enlightenment as shall make them fitting vehicles for the outflowing of the Supreme Spirit. To evolve the individual will, to evolve the individual mind, filled with that naturally divine spirit and essence and truth, so that it may evolve into being the vehicle by which spirit gets to express. You're already there. Whether you realize it or not, you're already there. Spirit is already moving through you, as you, is you, in this moment. If you want it to be a greater, more magnificent experience, then you have to evolve, you have to open up, you have to wake up to that magnificence of who you are. You have to catch that vision. You have to know what that dream is. You have to declare the truth that you want, just as you're declaring that truth in the vision of your new minister yet to be. You have to know what that vision is. You have to grab it. You have to hold on to it. You have to feel it and realize that it is now, that it's already there. Take it into your heart. Take it deep into your soul. Feel it as if it is. And that's when it begins to show up. That's when it begins to arrive. That's how we attract the good that we want into our life. We have to be and act as if it already is. If you want more loving friends, then you have to be that loving friend. If you want more prosperity in your life, in your experience, then you have to be that prosperity in your life. You have to bring forth that experience. You have to develop the mind, the consciousness, bring it forth into the truth of who you are. You have to feel it at the very essence of your being, in your soul, so that it can come through. You're the vehicle by which Spirit wants to explode into a great new adventure. You are the vehicle, no matter where you are in your journey in life. Spirit is waiting for you to recognize its presence so that it comes forth from you in that way that can be the divine expressing in its most magnificent and manifesting way. You have to be ready for it. Ernest Holmes says, there is that within every individual which partakes of the nature of the universal wholeness. And insofar as it operates, it is God. There is that within us which partakes of the nature of the divine being, and since it partakes of the nature of the divine being, then we are divine. We already are Spirit in action. We just sometimes forget it. We get lost in our daily routine. We get lost in the confusion of what's going on in the world. We get lost thinking that, we did not discover our purpose. We didn't know what we were supposed to do. Well, maybe it's not yet ready. And it matters not when it happens. Spirit will show up in that moment. And it will be the expression that it needs to be. There is no way to avoid it. Spirit has eternity to wait for you to come to that realization, to that understanding. As humans, we must consciously engage in a spiritual practice of knowledge and truth-seeking, and consciously practice it in our lives. A demonstration is going to happen regardless. And if you're not satisfied with that demonstration, then you need to look at your life and the way in which you are behaving, the things that you are thinking, and the beliefs that you are believing in. If there's something that's not working in your life, then you're believing in something that is less than the divine, the natural divine that is wanting to move through you, act through you, and is you. It's waiting. It's waiting upon your recognition of it. You've heard that word recognition if you've done any of the practice, any of the study of science of mind. It's the first step of treatment. It says so right over there. You don't have to believe me. It's in writing. Recognition is the first step. We need to recognize that we are already divine beings. It is already within us. It is the truth of who we are. If you want to have a zippity-doo-dah experience, then you've got to recognize that zip within you. You've got to recognize that energy that is within you. You've got to recognize that Spirit is already there, waiting to manifest, waiting to bring forth a greater truth, waiting upon your acknowledging, validating, recognizing that it is you. No one else is going to be that. It must be you. It must come through you. You are the one, right here, right now. We are with that divine Spirit. As religious scientists, we believe that there is one power and one presence. Therefore, the individual personality is determined by what we believe about ourselves. We can know what we believe about ourselves based on our vibrational energy. Whatever is showing up in our life is our vibrational energy. It is our experience. We need to look at what our beliefs are about ourselves. Do we believe that we are still part of that family group, that work group, that social group, that whatever it is, wherever we got that idea that told us that we were not enough, that we were either too young or too old, that we were either too tall or too short, too thin or too fat, whatever that belief is that you picked up someplace along the way on your journey that's holding you back from manifesting the greater experience of the divine within you, tap into it. That's why we use affirmations. That's why we do meditation. That's why we do spiritual mind treatment. We want to grasp, we want to catch that vision. We want to know the truth of who we are. We want to believe in ourselves. We are religious scientists. We know that there is one power. There is one presence. It is within each and every one of us. I know that this is the truth for me, and I know that it is the truth for you. We are here. We are ready right now. In this very moment, God is with us in this presence, in this experience. Let's be all that we can be. Thank you, and namaste.
I'd like Lisa to come up and help me out with this next song. It's called Ordinary Miracle.
Thank you. I think you'll find the supplies. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This is so unusual that everything is beautiful. It's just another ordinary miracle today. The sky knows when it's time to snow. Don't need the tea to seed to grow. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Life is like a gift they say, wrapped up for you every day. Open up and find a way to give some of your own. Isn't it remarkable that every time a raindrop falls, it's just another ordinary miracle today? Birds of winter have their fling, but always make it home by spring. the ordinary miracle. Ordinary miracle. We delight to see a miracle. Isn't it exceptional? Things just work out after all. It's just another ordinary miracle today. The sun comes up and shines so bright and disappears again at night. It's just another ordinary miracle today. It's just another ordinary miracle
Wow, that was great, Lisa. And thank you, Reverend Kearney. It's funny, when I read the script Thursday, my little voice said, ask him how he pronounces his name. Because I had a feeling it wasn't Kearney, but I forgot today. So thank you. I think you just said that whole sermon or talk just for me, so thank you very much. This is our giving time. Please take a moment to join me in appreciation for this community and our philosophy. We know we live in an abundant universe. There is always more than enough to share and to spare. We use this time to open up the flow of abundance and circulate that energy with gratitude. Because we appreciate you and your contributions, we make it easy for you to give. In addition to placing your offering in the basket today, there are various ways that you can contribute to our center. You can use the Vanco app on your phone or tablet. You can visit our website to make a donation. It's www.high-desertcsl.org. That high is H-I. Just scroll down to the donate button. Or you can drop off a donation through the week or stick it in the mail. Thank you so much for supporting our center. Without you, all of this would not be possible. Please join me in reading aloud our Declaration of Affirmative Giving. It's located inside your program on the left side and also on the monitors. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of the Spirit Center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. I invite our ushers to start at the front of the room with the baskets, please.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so
So as the ushers come back forward into the center with all of the gifts that have been given, we know that they flow abundantly through this center, through all of the activities that it is creating here. We know that this beautiful space is filled with prosperity and the abundance of all that Spirit has to give. Right here, right now, I know that Spirit is present in this center in all of the individuals who are here now, all those who are joining us online, and all those who are yet to arrive. We know that they are on their way. We bless this. We give this back up over into the universal law, into the mind of God, because we know there it is already made so. It is good and very good. And we may affirm it as we say together.
And so it is. Thank you, ushers. So now as I invite the practitioners forward, our practitioner team is here to serve you. The prayer request box is in the garden room under the picture of Dr. Holmes. And our practitioners' phone numbers are on the back side of your program. Please feel free to reach out to one of our experienced practitioners for prayer, especially if you are going through a challenge in your life. They are here to know the truth for you and are available after service for spiritual support if you would like prayer. Thank you to those of us who are here today in person, and thank you to those of you online joining us. Next Sunday, we will have Reverend Nikki Robbins, followed by our monthly potluck. And I want to say, before I have Frank come up, I want to say, let's go have our fundraiser, our spaghetti luncheon right after service. So Frank, would you please read our affirmation for the day?
I will read it once, and if you'll join me for 2 repetitions, please. Our affirmation for the day is, right here, right now, I am one with God. Right here, right now, I am one with God. Right here, right now, I am one with God. So we are.
Absolutely. So we'll just take this opportunity in that zippity-doo-dah to recognize the divine presence that is showing up in each and every personality and every person here and throughout all of that that is being expressed at the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living. I know that this is good and will continue to be good. I know that as we continue on our journey, wherever it is that you are going today, that you arrive there whole, perfect, and complete. Knowing that this is already made so, we may affirm it as we say together.
And so it is.
All right.